How to escape the paycheck-to-paycheck living. You ever wake up on payday feeling like a king, only to check your bank balance 2 days later and realize you're basically one bad Uber ride away from being broke again? Don't lie, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's that financial hamster wheel where you sprint hard as hell every month, but somehow stay in the exact same miserable spot, like a cardio workout nobody asked for. And before you blame your job, your boss, your zodiac sign, or the government, let me hit you with something real. According to the Federal Reserve, 63% of Americans can't handle a $500 emergency without going into debt. 63. That means if life throws a plot twist, blown tire, medical bill, Karen neighbor hits your car, you're cooked. Wallet folded. Future destroyed. So today, we're breaking the entire cycle. Not with vague, believe in yourself nonsense or that fake millionaire advice from influencers who haven't seen a tax return since the Obama administration. Nah, this is the real, simple, mathematically undeniable roadmap to escape paycheck-to-paycheck living. But before we dive in, hit that subscribe button, because on this channel, Peter Finance, we break down the math and rebuild your wallet from the ground up. If you're tired of being financially allergic to your own income, hit like too. It's free. Which is perfect. Now, let's get one thing straight. Paycheck-to-paycheck living isn't just about bad spending habits. Yes, some people shop like they're possessed by the spirit of Amazon Prime. But the core problem is deeper. It's structural, and the numbers don't lie. The Bureau of Labor Statistics reports that the average American makes around $59,000 a year. Sounds decent, right? Until taxes kick you in the knees. After taxes, you're closer to $46,000. Break that into months and you're left with about $3,800 to survive on. And that's before rent decides to disrespect you. Now look at expenses. Average rent, $1,500 to $2,000 depending on where you live. Car payment, $600. Yeah, because everyone out here financing chargers like they're rappers. Insurance, another $150. Groceries, $400 to $600. Internet and phone, $150. Random life attacks, at least $200. By the time you finish all that, you're sitting there with maybe $100 to $200 left. A whole month of work for money that disappears faster than a broke dude on Valentine's Day. That's the paycheck-to-paycheck trap. It's not always stupidity, it's math. The numbers simply do not stretch. And when your income doesn't grow while everything else inflates like a balloon at a toddler's birthday party, you're stuck. Permanently stuck. But here's the part people never tell you. Escaping the cycle does not start with budgeting. It does not start with cutting coffee. And it definitely doesn't start with selling your soul to some side hustle guru. It starts with rewiring how you think about money. Most people think they're bad with money when really they're just playing a rigged game. Your paycheck doesn't disappear because you don't budget correctly. It disappears because the modern financial system is built like a hungry vacuum cleaner that sucks your cash before it even warms up in your account. Think about this for a second. The moment your direct deposit hits, you already owe half of it. Rent? Gone. Bills? Gone. Debt? Gone. Groceries? Inflation said, I'll take half of that too. It's like your money has 15 toxic relationships pulling it in every direction. No wonder you're broke as... Let's break this down with actual numbers, because Peter Finance doesn't do fairy tales. We do math. According to the U.S. Census, the median household income sits around $74,500 per year. Now that's household, not per person. And households usually mean 2 adults. So if you divide that, you're looking at roughly $37,200 per person before taxes. That's not ballin'. That's please don't let anything break this month money. Let's convert that into something real. Monthly take-home pay, maybe $2,700 to $3,000 after taxes, depending on your state. Now watch what happens when life punches you square in the face. Rent, $1,600, and that's if your landlord isn't a villain. Car payment, $550. Car insurance, $140. Gas and maintenance, $200. Groceries, $450. Internet and phone, $150. Minimum credit card payments, $120. Emergency fund contribution. LOL, you wish. What's left? Like $100, maybe $200. Enough to survive, but not enough to progress. And while you're over here playing budgeting Tetris, companies keep raising prices like they're allergic to affordability. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics Consumer Price Index, prices have climbed over 20% in the last 4 years. Let that sink in. Your income stayed the same, but life said double or nothing and then chose double. That's why your paycheck feels like sand slipping through your fingers. Inflation rises, bills rise, debt grows. Your income, it sits there like a lazy roommate who refuses to get a job. And most people respond to this pressure in the worst possible way. Lifestyle creep.
You get a raise of $200 a month and you immediately upgrade your life like you're Elon with a Red Bull. Suddenly you need a new phone, new clothes, new restaurants, new everything. And boom, you're back to zero. The average American spends over $1,500 a year on subscriptions alone, according to reports by CNR Research. That's money sneaking out of your account silently, like a ninja hired by Netflix, Hulu, Apple Music, Spotify, and that random app you forgot you subscribed to in 2019. The system is built to drain you. But escaping paycheck to paycheck starts when you finally see the real enemy. It's not Starbucks. It's not avocado toast. It's not your gym membership. It's the combination of inflation, lifestyle creep, and income stagnation hitting you all at the same time. Once you understand that, you stop blaming yourself and start focusing on what actually moves the needle. And that brings us to the next big shift, the one that separates the forever broke from the finally free. It's not about budgeting. It's not about discipline. It's about controlling the only thing that truly determines your financial destiny, your cash flow. If you really want to escape paycheck to paycheck living, you have to understand one simple truth that schools, parents, and broke Uncle Raymond never taught you. Your freedom is not determined by how much you earn. It's determined by the gap between what comes in and what leaks out. That gap, your cash flow, is the difference between being financially stressed and financially unstoppable. People think rich people are rich because they make crazy money. Sure, some do. But the real secret? They keep more of what they earn. They widen that gap like they're stretching a rubber band. Meanwhile, the average person's gap is so tiny a mosquito couldn't fit through it. Let's break this down with real numbers because Peter Finance doesn't do fairy tales. We do math. Say you take home $3,000 a month. Your total expenses? $2,850. Your cash flow gap is, drumroll, $150. That's not a gap. That's a paper cut. Now compare that to smart investor Sam, a dude who probably still wears the same pair of sneakers from 2018. He also earns $3,000 a month, but his expenses? $2,200. Sam's gap? $800. With $150 left over each month, you can barely buy groceries or therapy. With $800 left over each month, you can build savings, invest, pay off that, build an emergency fund, and still buy groceries. Maybe even the good cereal with the cartoon mascots. Sam isn't smarter. Sam isn't luckier. Sam just understands something crucial. You escape the paycheck trap by increasing your cash flow, not by penny pinching yourself into depression. Here's the thing most broke people don't realize. Growing cash flow comes from both sides, not just cutting expenses. There are only 3 levers. You reduce your fixed expenses, you reduce your variable expenses, you increase your income. That's it. Google can't change that. Congress can't change that. Even your toxic ex can't ruin this math. But most people only focus on number 2. They cut their coffee, cut their eating out, cut their fun, basically cut their happiness until they're miserable, bitter, and still broke. Cutting alone is never the long-term solution, because once you slash everything, that's it. You're done. You can't cut beyond zero, but your income? Unlimited upside. But still, we'll balance both, because the truth is, you need to pull all 3 levers to create breathing room quickly. Here's a fast example of how cash flow changes your life. Let's say you manage to lower your rent by $150. Moving, negotiating, getting a roommate, cut unnecessary subscriptions that add up to $50. Cook more and reduce eating out by $80. And increase your income by $200 through side hustles. That alone boosts your cash flow by $150 plus $50 plus $80 plus $200 equals $480 extra per month. That's $5,760 per year. That's an emergency fund in 12 months. That's enough to pay off a credit card. That's enough to start investing consistently. And it came from small strategic moves, not suffering. But here's the deeper truth. Cash flow isn't just money. It's psychological freedom. When you have extra every month, you stop living in fear. You stop waiting for payday like it's Christmas morning. You stop overdrafting your account like a financially confused maniac. And the moment you experience that mental shift, the whole game changes. Before you start dreaming about investing, side hustles, and building a fat emergency fund, you've got to handle the silent assassins in your budget. These are expenses that don't look dangerous, don't feel painful, but they drain your cash flow like a sneaky financial vampire. Think of them like that one friend who always forgets their wallet. They don't seem like a problem at first until you look back and realize you spent $600 feeding this clown. Let's expose the biggest silent killers. Number 1, subscriptions. Subscriptions are the financial equivalent of termites. You don't see the damage until half the house collapses. The average person has 8 to 12 active subscriptions according to data from CNR Research. That includes streaming services, apps, food delivery passes, cloud storage, and that one fitness app you opened twice in 2021. The average total is $120 to $150 a month. That's nearly $1,800 a year. And most people don't even use half of it. If you're living paycheck to paycheck, you don't need 4 streaming services. Pick one. Let go of the others. You're not going to die because you can't watch every show the moment it drops. Calm down, Chad. Number 2, lifestyle creep. You get a raise, you upgrade your life. You start buying nicer food, nicer clothes, nicer gadgets, nicer everything. Suddenly your paycheck is just as tight as before, just with fancier problems. The American Economic Journal found that over 60% of income increases get absorbed by higher spending. That means for most people, earning more does nothing. Lifestyle creep is basically financial self-sabotage with a smile. It feels good in the moment, but it destroys your future. Number 3, car costs. This one hurts feelings every time, especially for the vroom vroom victims. You know the folks financing $40,000 cars with 700 payments while making $45K a year. According to Experian, the average monthly car payment is now $736 for new cars and $532 for used cars. That's a mortgage-sized bill for a depreciating hunk of metal. Then add insurance, gas, and repairs and parking. Realistically, you're spending $900 to $1,100.
You're spending $900, $1,100 a month just to move around. Imagine investing that instead. You'd be financially untouchable by the time you're 50. Number 4, food delivery. DoorDash, Uber Eats, Grubhub, these companies are basically legalized robbery. A $12 meal becomes $28 after delivery fees, service fees, taxes, and a tip. And the driver still gets paid like dirt. The average American spends $3,000 per year on food delivery, according to Statista. That's $250 a month, money that could be compounding instead of spiking your sodium intake. Number 5, credit card minimum payments. These are silent killers because they give you the illusion of progress. But minimum payments keep you drowning. Paying only the minimum on a $2,000 balance at 25% interest means it'll take you over 17 years to pay off. 17 years. You'd spend more time paying off that one card than raising a child. When you cut these silent killers, your cash flow jumps instantly. Suddenly you're saving $200, then $400, then $600 a month. And it happens without suffering, without extreme budgeting, without living like a monk. Because escaping paycheck to paycheck isn't about cutting everything. It's about cutting the right things. Now that we've cleared the silent killers, the next step is even more important. Designing a bare minimum survival budget that gives you stability without destroying your life. Not a restrictive budget, a realistic one. The kind that gives your money a job instead of letting it wander around causing chaos. If you've made it this far, congratulations. You're already ahead of the 90% of people who complain about money but never change a damn thing. Now we're entering the phase that actually flips your financial life, building a survival budget. And let me be clear, this is not one of those boring, restrictive, never have fun again budgets created by people who look like they've never smiled before. This isn't that dry, soul-crushing spreadsheet life. This budget is a weapon, a tool, a financial shield that stops you from drowning every month. A survival budget answers one question. What's the minimum amount of money I need to live decently, safely, and without anxiety? Not bare bones, not struggle mode. Just the essentials you truly need. Let's break it down into the 4 expense categories that run your life. 1. Housing. Housing should never exceed 30% of your take-home pay. Not gross income, take-home, real money. The money that actually hits your account, not the fantasy paycheck your employer prints. If you're bringing in $3,000 a month, your housing budget is $900. If your rent is $1,500, guess what? You have a problem. And the solution is not try harder. It's relocation, roommates, negotiation, house hacking, anything to get that number down. The Federal Reserve Bank shows that rent is the #1 expense crushing working class Americans. You can't escape the trap while paying luxury prices on average income. Number 2, transportation. Transportation should stay under 10 to 12% of take home. That means if you make $3,000 a month, your total transportation costs should be around $336. But the average American is out here paying $700 plus per month for a car, playing Drake in the background like that somehow makes being broke feel better. Your car should match your cash flow, not your ego. You're not a rapper. Relax. Number 3, food. You're aiming for 10 to 15%. That's $300 to $450 for someone making $3K. Here's the truth you don't want to hear. Meal prepping saves you hundreds. Eating out once or twice a week won't kill your wallet.
but eating out 6 times a week absolutely will. Inflation has made groceries expensive, yes, but eating out doubled that, so you pick your poison. Number 4, mandatory bills. Internet, phone, insurance, utilities. Goal, 10% of income. That's $300 on a $3,000 take-home. And newsflash, you don't need the $130 unlimited ultra mega premium phone plan. Most people could cut that bill in half with one call. But no, they'd rather be broke with 5G than financially stable with 4G. Now here's the magic part. Once you establish these caps, you're building a system that guarantees you always have a cash flow gap. No guesswork, no surprises. For most people, a proper survival budget instantly unlocks $300 to $700 a month of breathing room. That breathing room becomes your power, because now, finally, the money you earn isn't disappearing into random nonsense. You control where it goes. And now we can direct it towards the most important thing, smashing debt and building savings. Before you build wealth, you need a foundation. And the foundation is stability. Not hustle, not luck. Stability. Now that your survival budget is set, we're flipping the switch. This is the moment you stop playing defense with your money and start playing offense. Defense keeps you safe. Offense gets you free. Most people live their entire lives in financial defense mode. Avoiding overdrafts, avoiding eviction, avoiding late fees, avoiding panic. Their whole money strategy is basically don't die. But your goal is bigger than that. You want to build a life where money isn't a monthly crisis. It's a tool you control. Financial offense starts with 2 core moves. 1. Build your emergency buffer. 2. Attack your debt like you've got a personal vendetta. Let's break those down. 1. The emergency buffer. Look, before you try to invest, before you try to start a business, before you start trading crypto like a degenerate, you need an emergency fund. And not the fake kind. Not the I saved $80 so I'm protected delusion. You need at least 1 month of expenses saved as fast as possible. Not 3 months, not 6 months, 1 month. Why 1? Because it stabilizes your life instantly. According to the Federal Reserve's Economic Well-Being Report, nearly 40% of adults can't cover a $400 surprise expense. That means 1 bad week can destroy your entire financial year. The emergency buffer protects you. It stops you from sliding back into debt every time life sneezes. And because you've already cleared silent killers and built a survival budget, you should be able to find $200 to $600 a month to throw into your buffer. That's 1 month of expenses saved in 4 to 8 weeks. Not magical, not impossible, just math. Number 2, the debt attack plan. Debt is the rent you pay for your past, and interest is the punishment for taking too long to pay it back. You escape paycheck to paycheck by killing off high-interest debt, especially credit cards. These things are financial vampires. They feed off your paycheck and laugh at your suffering. Here's how you attack debt like a champ. Step A, list every debt. Credit cards, car loans, personal loans, all of it. Write the balance, the interest rate, and the minimum payment. Step B, pick your weapon. 2 methods, snowball or avalanche. Snowball, pay off the smallest balance first. Build motivation. Avalanche, pay off the highest interest rate first. Saves the most money. If you want psychological wins, snowball. If you want mathematical domination, avalanche. Either one works. The biggest mistake is doing nothing. Step C, use all extra cash flow. Throw every extra dollar at your target debt. Not half, not a little, every spare cent until the debt is gone. Even boosting your monthly payment by $100 can cut years off your timeline and save you thousands in interest. Let's look at an example. You have a $2,000 credit card at 25% interest. Minimum payment is $60. If you pay only the minimum, you'll be paying that card for 17 years and spend around $4,000 in interest. Add just $100 extra per month, you're debt-free in 18 months, and you save over $3,000 in wasted interest. That's offense. That's you controlling the money instead of the money controlling you. And once the debt starts dropping, guess what? Your cash flow grows automatically. Every paid-off bill becomes a permanent raise. Alright, now we're entering the phase most people never reach. The moment where your money finally starts working for you instead of clocking out early like a lazy coworker. You've cut the silent killers, you've built a survival budget, you've boosted your cash flow, you've started crushing debt. Now it's time for the fun part, building real wealth.
Not Instagram wealth, not fake guru rented a Lamborghini for 3 hours wealth. Real wealth, the kind that shows up in your bank account whether you work today or not. And it all starts with understanding one rule. Your wealth is built by what you keep and grow, not what you earn. The Bureau of Economic Analysis reports that the average savings rate in the U.S. is around 3 to 4%. That means for every $100 people earn, they save $3. That's not a wealth strategy. That's a joke with extra steps. Your goal? You're aiming for 10 to 20% of your income going towards saving and investing once you've cleaned up your financial foundation. And before you freak out like, Peter, that's impossible, relax. We're not talking about today. We're talking about the destination. You get there in stages. Here's the process. Stage 1, hit $1,000 saved. This is your life can't bully me anymore money. You already know this part. It protects you from falling into debt. Stage 2, build 1 to 3 months of expenses. This is your stability fund. This gives you breathing room, confidence, and options. When you have 3 months saved, you stop tolerating nonsense. Bad job? You can leave. Unexpected medical bill? Handled. Life meltdown? Survive it. That's freedom. Stage 3, start investing consistently. This is where the magic happens. Let's talk simple, beginner-friendly investing, the kind actual millionaires use, not the fantasy world TikTok 10x crypto bro Chad is selling you. Here are the 3 best starting points. Option 1, a 401k. If your employer matches your contributions, that's free money. If you don't take it, you're basically telling your boss, nah, keep the free cash. I enjoy poverty. It's my aesthetic. Even a 3% match is huge. If you make $50K a year, that's $1,500 free dollars annually. Do that for 20 years and that's $30K before growth. Add compound interest, way more. Option 2, Roth IRA. The Roth IRA is the GOAT, greatest of all time. You invest after-tax dollars and it grows tax-free, meaning when old you is chilling in your senior citizen recliner, the IRS can't take a cut. You can contribute up to $7,000 a year as of the IRS 2024 rule. Split monthly, that's about $583. If you invest $500 a month at a 7% return from age 25 to 55, you end up with around $600,000. A whole $500,000 for doing something boring and consistent. Option 3, low-cost index funds. Index funds are the set it and forget it kings. You're basically buying the entire stock market instead of betting on single companies. The S&P 500 has returned an average of 10% annually for decades. Not every year, but long-term, it compounds like crazy. Invest $200 a month for 20 years, you end up with around $131,000. Invest $500 a month, more like $328,000. That's how real people build wealth. Not luck, not timing, not trading, consistency. And here's the beautiful part. Once your cash flow is positive and your debt is shrinking, investing becomes easy. You're no longer squeezing pennies, you're directing your surplus. But long-term wealth isn't just about investing. The next piece is choosing the right income moves so your earnings grow year after year. Because here's the truth. You can't budget your way to wealth, but you can earn your way to it. Let's wrap this video with the 7 daily habits rich people do that broke people ignore. Number 1, the one money move rule. Rich people do one thing every day that pushes their money forward. Not 10, not 50, just one intentional move. It could be reading 10 minutes about money, making an investment, automating a bill, adding to savings, improving a skill. Broke people, they wait for motivation. Rich people rely on consistency, not feelings. Number 2, they track their money like a hawk. They know exactly what they spend, what they earn, what they invest, and what they owe. If a dollar leaves their account, they know why. Broke people, they check their balance after the damage is done. They live in, I hope nothing bounces mode. Rich people live in control. Broke people live in surprise. Number 3, they treat their income like a tool, not an identity. Broke people flex their income. Rich people leverage their income. 2 people can make the same salary. One stays broke, the other becomes wealthy. The difference? Where the money goes.
Number 4, they operate on a 5-year strategy, not a 5-day impulse. Every decision has a long-term lens. Rich people think like, will this benefit my future self? While broke people think, will this impress people today? Wealth requires patience. Flexing requires insecurity. Number 5, they invest even when it feels like they shouldn't. Rich people don't wait for the perfect time. They invest through fear, stress, market dips, and uncertainty. Because they know one truth. Time in the market beats timing the market. Compounding is the real cheat code. Broke people, they wait so long that one day becomes never. Number 6, they choose boredom over entertainment. Wealth isn't built in chaos. It's built in boring repetition. Budgets, planning, consistency, automation, long-term vision. Broke people chase entertainment. Rich people chase results. Number 7, they protect their energy like a rare currency. This one's the most underrated. Rich people avoid drama, gossip, chaos, low-value friends, and unnecessary arguments. Why? Because negativity kills focus. And focus is the engine of wealth. Broke people waste mental energy on everything that doesn't matter. Rich people guard their mind like it's a safe filled with gold. If you take anything from this entire video, let it be this. Wealth is not built by huge heroic actions. It's built by tiny, unsexy decisions done every single day. Habits turn into routines. Routines turn into systems. Systems turn into wealth. You don't need a lottery ticket. You don't need 1 million followers. You don't need permission. You need discipline, patience, and the courage to not follow the same broken patterns everyone else is following. Because the moment you stop trying to look rich and start acting like someone who's building real wealth, that's the moment your entire life shifts. Your future becomes different. Your options become bigger. Your freedom becomes real. And trust me, the real flex is not the lifestyle. The real flex is peace. That's the end of the video. This has been Peter Finance. Remember, the wealth you want is built today, not someday.